G'day Bambies, Kaleidow here and welcome back to another video in our tiny home series in The Sims 4. So today we are creating the Bluebird Boathouse, which is actually so adorable and I'm really happy with how it turned out. Usually when I go into these things, it'll be like totally out of my brain, but today this one's actually quite inspired by an image of a boathouse which I saw online. If I can find that photo again, I'll put it on the screen for you guys, but I did change up a lot and I didn't see the inside of it. So yeah, all of that is out of my brain, but a lot of the outside is kind of inspired and I kind of went for more of a contemporary go of it, and I'm really happy with how it turned out, so I hope you guys like it too. So we do have like this starboard paneling mixed with this turquoise, and I think they really do mix in really well together. It did take me a little bit of time to figure out the shape of it and how I was going to plan it out, because I wanted there to be two decks. And the top deck was supposed to be sort of like the more sunny one where you relax and just watch over the water, while the bottom one was supposed to be a bit more sheltered, and there's also a spa downstairs. So I really like that idea of being in a hot tub right next to the ocean. I haven't been on a houseboat myself. My boyfriend has, and he's told me some stories about when they had a holiday on like a family friend's boathouse, and it sounded like so much fun. I really wish that I got to experience that, so maybe in the near future I might rent out a houseboat for a holiday and might go ahead and do that. And actually this boathouse would probably be something that I would really love to spend a holiday in, or maybe even buy for myself. It would be so cool to renovate a boathouse, because in my mind, you kind of have to decorate it to match the ocean, to match its surroundings. But also the best thing about a boathouse is that they are movable. You can go wherever you like with them. I have a feeling that you do have to license them properly, and you have to dock them in certain places, etc. But besides that, like, it's pretty free living, right? Like, it just sounds like a dream come true. Like, you could go wherever you like. I know a lot of people here in Australia live in houseboats, but I would love to hear about you guys in America. I'm sure they have them in America, but even in the UK and that, do people live in houseboats? I used to go boating a lot with my dad when I was younger, and I used to always see the boathouses. We would go past them and I would look very intently for the people who lived within them. And it was very rarely that I would actually see people living in them. And I think it's mainly because most of those boathouses were holiday homes and people just go to them on their holidays. They don't actually live in them, which is sort of a shame, but that's probably what I would do. I don't think I would be able to live on the water like 24/7, like all the days of the year. Like, no. I wouldn't be able to do that. I love the ocean, but I don't love it that much. And yeah, we are adding in a little bit of a motor at the back, an engine with the propeller. I do change it up later on, so I know it looks a little bit weird right now, but I promise I do change around the items and it ends up looking a lot better. This build is on one of the dock sort of lots in Windenburg, so one of the waterfront ones. I thought this one fit perfectly because it had the wood around it. So it did kind of give it a sense that it is docked and anchored up or tied up to the dock, and I thought it really fit in with the Windenburg background, and it's kind of enclosed, but let's just pretend that there is like a way out of here into the ocean behind. But when we get into the interior design, you guys are going to see how nice the views are. The windows took me actually quite a while to figure out because it was just very important to me to make it look good from both ends, from like the inside and the outside. So I definitely wanted to make sure I put a lot of time and effort into that part of the build. And then I end up going for a bit of an open plan sort of style on the inside. a bit before, you guys saw me trying to put in a wall, and I realized very quickly that the big open windows along that whole wall just did not fit having walls and stuff like segregating at all. I really didn't like that, so I decided to have an open plan. And it does look very nautical blue and like navy blue and white for a while here, but I end up going for a bit more turquoisey light colors, and I'm really excited for you guys to see that because it looks so much fun and such like a inviting space to live in. And I really would love to spend time in this place. If it was real, I would definitely hang out here. It ends up looking very fresh and just, I don't know, contemporary, but also using a lot of the mid-century stuff, which we got in the new stuff pack, the bowling night one. And oh my god, guys, I actually adore a lot of the stuff in that stuff pack. I know some people, one of my favorite simmers, LGR, didn't really like it at all, and I can understand why, but it's $10. This is my opinion, by the way, guys. It's $10 and we get a whole bunch of really cool items, and I was happy with it. I know a lot of people weren't, but that was my opinion. And yeah, now we can see all of the new stuff. That counter that I ended up swapping it out for is like the perfect color, but I wish that I had a different countertop, maybe like wood or something like that. I think that would have been so much nicer. But oh well, oh well. And I really love the orange popping in there. Like, oh yes, it goes so well with the turquoise. And the dining table, which I found was so cute. It's actually not a part of the bowling night stuff pack. It's from, I'm not sure actually what it's from, but when I found it, I was like, man, I have to fit this in here. It's got like a glass detailing on top of the pattern. It's really, really lovely. And while upstairs is very different from the downstairs, I did try to fit in a bar. I end up realizing very quickly that I do not have room to fit in that. And it is not a necessity. Like, we could just chuck in one of those little drink trays later on. But yeah, have to get rid of it, sadly. But we do fit in a lot downstairs. We even fit in a TV, right? And oh my gosh, I adore that tiny, tiny little triangle table. It is my absolute favorite. I really like how I put in some shelving here above the lounge and put a whole bunch of bits and bobs above it because I really wanted it to feel personal, something that Sim created. So it's meant to be kind of like an artsy carpenter, I suppose. Somebody who kind of has a bit of knowledge about interior design, which is not me. Has an artistic flair anyways, and a bit of a homebody too. So I definitely wanted to include some little things here and there just to make it a bit more homey. And we do have a bookcase in this corner, but I end up covering it up with a big palm tree plant. I always do that, but I don't know. Let's just imagine that the Sims can go to it. If you guys download this from the gallery, you could definitely go ahead and delete that palm tree if you want them to be able to access that that bookcase. But I don't know why. I just really wanted a lot of greenery in this room too. I think it kind of levels it all out because it's sort of right now sunshine and ocean with the orange and the blue, and it needed a little bit of down to earth sort of colors to mix it up too. And actually this build is quite big for a tiny home. This is my second house in the series, and I feel like I kind of went all out in this one, guys. This one cost like 127,000 simoleons from my memory. Might even be more than that. And our last one, our very first one, the carriage home, was only like 20,000 or something like that. It was like in the 20,000s, and oh my golly gosh, I did kind of go all out, didn't I? Oh man, so many pot plants, so many little decorations. And I suppose I do spend a lot on the outside too, which you guys are going to see later on, but majority of the money is probably from decorations, honestly, and I do not regret it at all. I'm so glad, and I definitely think like if you're going to be able to afford a boathouse especially one as contemporary and cool as this one, you probably do have some cash behind you. So I don't think that 127 simoleons worrying that sim who's bought this houseboat at all. And I don't know, I think it makes it look a lot nicer with all of the little things in there. Like even this little plate holder rack next to the sink. I just think it makes it look more lived in. But yeah, I'm very happy with how this room ends up looking. One thing which I didn't do was add any more floorings. I do have a few different colored walls. I think it's only in that room right there, that wall with the turquoise, but that matches the outside. I don't think, from boats that I've been in myself, usually have a similar exterior to the interior, like walls. And I didn't want to kind of change it up. I wanted to kind of have that aspect that you're still in a boat when you're inside. So didn't want to change that around too much and have like plaster walls or anything. Although I'm pretty sure there would be some houseboats around the world that do have plastered walls or painted walls. But I kind of wanted to keep it a bit more raw and rustic looking. So yeah, and one thing I could have done was add the floor tiles to be a bit different in areas. Like the kitchen could have been lino. Lino is something that I know I could have put in, but I ended up keeping this weathered floorboard, and I'm happy that I did. You know, it's nice, and it kind of gives the aspect that this was a old building, like an old houseboat. And maybe it's been totally renovated, a creative couple maybe picked it up and just brought it back to life, brought it back into the 21st century. And yeah, it probably was a very mid-century, and that's why they've kept a lot of that sort of style furniture. But yeah, so this is such a cute little thing that I did with the wall features here. Instead of having actual walls, I went for these wall decals, like dividers, and I thought, why not decorate them with some paintings? Actually, guys, see that koi fish one next to the fridge there? That gets replaced with those two right there. And then I put a television on the wall there, like a mounted one. And we do add in a coffee table eventually, but I was really enjoying this big open space. And I do change it up later on. I do promise that I put in a coffee table. I know some of you guys are like, Kaleidow, why don't you put in coffee tables? It's so weird. I don't know why I don't. We didn't have a coffee table in my house when I grew up, so that might be why. Well, we did when I was really little, but then we got rid of it for some reason. We just had like an open space. So I kind of enjoy that. And now we're just adding in a bit of a control room out the front of the build. And I think this really gives it more of a boaty aspect, because I was feeling like it was just a house in the middle of a pool. So I wanted it to look a bit more like a boat. And I definitely think that this gave it more of that aspect indeed. Again, with the control room, I will change up how I do the steering wheel and all of that. I'm so weird when I build in The Sims, guys. It's as if it's my first time playing, because I will forget where everything is. Like, I'll kind of remember where things are in the shop, but then I just totally don't remember. Like, I'll be scrolling and scrolling. I'm like, wait, was it there? Wait, it's not there anymore. Where is it? I get very confused. Don't know why. But yeah, but that is probably one of the main reasons why it takes me so long to build. This one actually took me probably 4 hours. I'm getting better at building, guys, and I really like this exercise of building small, and maybe I'll work up to building bigger things. I have built big houses in the past, but I always feel like I waste so much time with them, and it will give me a lot of practice, you know. It will be good for me. Anyways, I really like this little table that I put next to the entranceway. I think it's really nice. I put some letters on it as if like they received some mail, so possibly they've been parked here, or docked here, sorry, for quite some time. And oh my gosh, love that little lampshade. It's so cute. And also those hanging lights that we got in the new stuff pack. Oh, they're so pretty. And they come in so many different shades. You guys, it's actually probably one of my favorite furniture style stuff packs. I wish we got more mid-century stuff, but yeah, especially a lamp, like a floor lamp. I wish we got one of those in the same style as that lampshade. That would have been so good, like, oh my god, the cherry on top. But unfortunately we didn't. We only got one, but we did get 2 of those hanging lamps from the roof, and I really, really like them. Now we are working on the only bathroom. Upstairs, we do have a random bath in the middle of the bedroom. Not sure why. I wanted to give it a bit more of a hotel aspect, like feel to it. But we do have a bathroom, don't worry, with a toilet. There's only one toilet, guys. And I really like how this turns out. See those plants there? I do put a mirror behind it, and I really like the look of it. It kind of gives it more of a nautical feel because it's like fish bowls, but there's plants growing out of them. But yeah, it's a pretty basic bathroom, really. Just went for muted tones and just a splash of turquoise and blue here and there. It took me a while to figure out what I wanted on the wall next to the toilet there. I think later on off camera, I changed it to a ship, which I found like this awesome wall decal, which is just like this iron, kind of slightly rusted ship, and I thought it went so perfectly there. Right now we just had like weird compass diagrams. I don't know why. I just put it there anyways, but oh well, that gets replaced later on and you guys will see that. Now we are working on the upstairs, and just like the bathroom, it is a lot more muted up here, just neutral tones. Really, really like it. And I love this bed. I wish I could have changed some things about it. Maybe like if we had cushions or like a throw rug on it. Just things that I wish were in the Sims 4, but unfortunately are not. But it would have been a lot nicer to have those sorts of things bringing color into the room, but I end up just going for more natural tones, and then we throw in a bit of yellow here and there. Oh man, I love this deck so much. We do have an esky up here. If you guys don't know what an esky is, it's that ice box over there. In Australia, we have a brand called the esky, and every single family basically has one. It's where you put your beer, your alcohol, whatever, your cokes, your fizzy drinks, or soft drink, as I call it, soft drink. I know, it's a pretty weird word, isn't it? Soft drink. It's not actually soft. It's bubbly and it hits me hard, okay? I always get really watery eyes whenever I drink soft drink. So to me, it's not actually soft. But I really like this little table that I put at the end of the bed. It's the same one that which we have downstairs, but I end up making it match the bed a bit more by changing it to the light wood and white. And I put some stools out the front here, and this is very muchly inspired by the lady that lives right next door to me right now in my apartment block. I know that has nothing to do with The Sims and a houseboat, but I really envy my neighbor. She has the most chill looking deck ever, which looks over the city. Like, my deck looks over the city, but I don't have any chairs out there yet. And hers looks so chill, guys. Oh my gosh, she has like these 2 high chairs, like stools, and it just looks over the city. It's just amazing, and I really want some for myself, so I decided to put it into this build, and I thought it was kind of cute. But you guys could swap that out for something a little bit more relaxing. And you know, lawn chairs could have fit in very nicely up there too. So now we're just putting in a few little things here and there. You guys know how I am when it comes to building. I always come back later and add more. It's just how I am. I wanted there to be a little dangly things up the top there, so that's why I do that. But I end up changing that out for those fairy lights. Well, they're sort of like fairy lights. They look like flowers, and I think they look so much nicer up on the top there. And to make the whole place feel a little bit more tropical, I did add in a bunch of those neon lights. I think there's one upstairs also, but I just love neon lights right now. So I basically have them in all of my contemporary sort of builds. I just adore them. They're so cute. I have one right next to me. I have a rainbow neon light. They are the bomb. I hopefully one day will be able to get a custom made Kaleidow neon light. That would be awesome, like in rainbow colors. I really need that in my life. Now we are redoing the little like control room. As you guys could see, it looks actually like a steering wheel and then the little like buttons control board. And out the back there, you guys saw that I also changed up the propeller and the engine. So it looks a lot nicer now. Have a chair out here too. And I think it's really coming together. What do you guys think? And of course, we have to have like supplies and stuff. I did put them out the back door, just, I don't know, to give it a bit more of a small house feel. You gotta have your survival essentials just hanging around in arm's reach. So definitely had to put that in. And I also had a like a life ring thing. I don't know what they're called. Are they called life rings? I'm not sure, but I have that out at the back next to the spa also, which I really like. So glad that we're able to have that ring because it's so iconic to our houseboat. And yeah, back to the upstairs. So you've seen how a couple things have changed up here. Got some rugs going on. And I love this little poster I've put next to the desk. Oh my gosh. When I found that earlier, I was like, oh man, I have to save this somewhere. I have to use it. It's so cute. Oh, it's so like fresh and gives a bit more of a youthful vibe to the house too. And we actually have 2 fish bowls in this entire boathouse. One next to the bed there, and you guys would have seen it before downstairs. There is actually a wall that is kind of made by the aquarium. So it does have the other wall, the timber wall next to it too, but I thought it was really cool that you could look through the timber slates and you can see the fish, and on the other side you see through the fish into the kitchen sort of. I really liked that idea. I think there was one of the houses in The Sims busting out the end mansion. I think it was Malcolm's mansion, Malcolm Landgrabs. And there was actually a fish tank wall, like a window where you could look into the other rooms through this fish tank. Actually, talking about that, some of my friends in real life, family friends that we grew up with, other people who actually lived in the bush. We knew a lot of people who lived in the outback here in Australia because I grew up in a small town. So we were far out in rural Australia. So yes, I did grow up with a lot of people who lived in the outback, and they had a fish tank wall, and it was the absolute coolest thing. I used to love just sitting there and staring at it. They had the biggest goldfish ever. Like, you guys would be surprised how big goldfish will get if you have them in a big space. Like, fish really do grow to size. Like, they'll grow to the size of their environment. And yeah, they were crazy big fish. Oh my gosh. Man, if I have goldfish, I hope they grow that big because they were really cool. Now we're just adding in some lights here and there, and I decided that the front of the boat is a bit boring looking, so we need to make it look a bit more like an actual boat, don't we? I really didn't want to touch the windows at all, so I decided a bit of a roofing here will look nice, and to kind of give it the illusion of actually like trying to like dive through and push through the waves. So houseboats usually aren't the most dynamic boats in the, I don't know, boating industry, whatever, but they should have a little bit of, I don't know, water buoyancy. That is not the word. I know nothing about boats. I grew up on boats, like going boating with my dad, but I don't actually know much about them, like when it comes to the jargon and all that, but you guys know what I mean. So then the boat can move through the water a lot smoother. I wanted there to be a bit of a front little section, and it ends up making it look a lot like a bird, and I'm so glad that it did. Like, that's such a happy little coincidence. It matches the name perfectly. The bluebird boathouse, it kind of looks like a duck, really. We could have called it the blue duck. So now we are adding in this coffee table. So it's actually 2 coffee tables in one. And over there you can see I added in the TV and I added in that palm tree that I said I would. Yep, it's right in front of that bookcase, just where it needs to be, so no Sims can go and read their books because they're probably too busy going swimming and stuff. And speaking of swimming, guys, out the back, I'm not sure if I've showed it already, but I do have a jumping like deck thingy that you climb up on, and it's so cool. And later on, you guys will see in the screenshots, I do have some little fishing spots, so you can fish off the deck, like the bottom deck. You can actually fish and catch things, and on the walkway to the actual house, you can fish also. So you can get 2 different types of fish from either. I have a feeling I put like tropical off the deck and then river ones off the walkway. But yeah, now we're getting up to the part where I actually cut out a lot because I decorate all of the water a bit. I put in a ton of rocks, some plants even. I change up the pool a bit so then it starts to actually blend in with Windenburg, because right now it just looked like a giant rectangle just cut out of this deck, and I wanted it to look a bit more normal. So that's what I end up trying to do, but I wanted to give you guys this little bit of a glimpse of what I was doing with the rocks. But yeah, now we're getting into the screenshots. Here's the entranceway with that aquarium. I love it so much. Here is the lounge room with that fireplace. It looks so cool and warm and cozy, doesn't it? And the open plan kitchen too, with the little dining table there. Man, it is actually so dreamy looking in this room when it's a late evening or sunset. So nice. Here is the bathroom, so it's very muted compared to the rest of the building, but I did chuck in some bits of turquoise there, just like upstairs with this bedroom, which I really like how chill and relaxed it ended up looking, and how we have that open door onto that top deck. Very nice, and a little bit of a bath up there if they want to relax and they don't want to have to go downstairs. Bit of a working space there. Again, views wherever you look in this house. I love it so much. Those fairy lights up there, and then the view from the control room, guys. Oh man, isn't that stunning? But yeah, guys, I hope you all enjoyed this build. I certainly had a lot of fun creating the Bluebird Boathouse. If you guys would like to download it, it will be on the gallery right now, so go check it out. I'll have my origin name down below. It's just Kaleidow. But yeah, guys, I hope you all have a fantastic day or night wherever you are. I love you all to bits, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye!